Welcome to another quarantine vlog. Let's do this. Boop. So today, let's get this tombstone mounted onto an Aroa pallet, and I've also been having some ideas about what to do about this guy, pallet number 2. In the past, I roughed it out on the Mori because it's a good, strong 3-axis thing, but I'm starting to wonder how to hold this big monster in the kern. I can't hold it vertically because, for one, it's too tall. There's just not enough Z-height clearance to put this on top of a vise. But I got some ideas to hold it sideways in one of the vices by making some custom soft jaws. So I might throw that into Fusion today and design that real quick and just see what it looks like, see what it would look like. And then I got to get some more vices mounted onto the Aroa pallets. I bought these 5th axis little, stuck in the foam. These are not little, they're the bigger ones. The biggest size they make, actually. This is the D22 dovetail vise. So you machine a dovetail into the part. So my theory is to machine a long dovetail across the whole thing and mount 2 of these on an Aroa pallet and go bop, bop. And then I should be able to do some work on this thing. Enjoy the silence before the air compressor turns on for the day. Yeah, it's really quiet in here right now. Oh well. This thing eats air pretty heavily. So I've spent the past hour digging into macros and Q parameters for this machine. So on all the other machines, I've been, for the past few years, digging really deep into macro programming, placing variables, doing math, this plus this, do this instead, if this is the result, do this, etc. So it's a completely different language on Heidenhain, so I've been kind of researching the manual right now and trying to wrap my head around it. And what I'm trying to do, mostly as an exercise, is write a program to probe one spot on a pallet and then switch to a different pallet, probe that same spot, switch to a different pallet, probe that same spot, and log the results in a spreadsheet. And I'm close. I want to see this work. Do I need to do it right now? Probably not. Now, in yesterday's video, I was debating back and forth whether I go through and I face every pallet, and I think at the end of the day, there's like a 2 to 4/10 range across all the 6 or 7 pallets that I measured. That's fine. I don't think I'm going to be able to do any better. Not at my current skill level, and not without a lot of effort and trial. And I mean, the tool's going to wear, and that's going to throw things off by a little bit. So there's too many variables right now, and it just goes to show that the Aroa pallets are made really, really, really well. So that's awesome. I'm happy about that. I like when a company is so proud of their logo that they put it loud and proud and right up front and very visible and very almost obnoxious, but I love it. Obnoxious in a good way. Machining a pallet. Doing some thread milling right now for a half 13 bolt. This guy. So it turns out when I mounted this vise, I mounted it wrong ways. I need to mount it 90 degrees the other way. I think it'll help what I'm trying to do for a lot of things. So good thing is I can repurpose the bolt pattern on this pallet, put a different bolt pattern on it, and I'm basically machining a pallet right now for that vise to orient 90 degrees this way instead of this way. And yeah, so I'm gonna have 2 of these. Also, I'll get to that in a second. Check this out. So I mounted the jaws backwards. I switched them, or I rotated them around, so that, because what I'm doing right now, I'm having through holes go this way, and then I need to create a pocket for the bolt head to go down. Not exactly this one, but it's basically gonna go like that, right? so the head has to sit under the surface. So we need a hole here to be able to do it. And I was trying to figure out how to hold the pallet. This is gonna work perfectly. Because there's a flat on the pallet right there where the robot kind of interfaces. So it's flat here, which orients it, which is nice. Round over here. It's sitting on the screws for kind of a Z depth. And then I have to remember that the datum, the 0, is now off center because of the flat, and left to right is going to be off too. So I'll probably remove the pull stud and probe the center, and then I'll have my center, and then I'll pop my 4 holes in and I'm done. Let's see how she did. A little tight. I'll have to check this out. So I put an engraving in there with one of my Zadaro 3 30-second ball mills, just really the only engraver that I have in the machine. I can't get the reflection right on that one. There you go. So that's the distance from center hole to the outside, and then this one's 2 inch. For some reason the 5th axis vices are like that. The locating pins, this is 2 inches and this one's 50 millimeters. I don't know why they're so ridiculously close, but I didn't want to forget. So I wrote which side is which, and then when I put the vise on, I think it would go on either way, but one way it'll be shifted a little bit and the other way it'll be dead center. So I needed a way to remember. And then any thread, because I'm mixing between inch and metric sometimes for some of the stuff I do, so I'm going to start labeling everything that is a thread. So I've been going back and forth trying to chase that last thread, the half 13 thread, trying to get it dialed with the thread mill, and I'm just a little bit more, and then a little bit more, and then a little bit more, and then it's mostly good. But then I looked at the tool and noticed that the shank of the tool has rub marks of threads, so it's rubbing. And then I did some research and I found out that the tool I'm using is good for threads 14 to 40 TPI, threads per inch. I'm doing a 13, so I'm just under the range. And then I modeled it up a little bit better in Fusion, and I'm like, oh, the shank is rubbing on, duh. Anyway, so I'm mounting up the next big size up that I have in a PG25, just modeling it up in Fusion right now so that it's proper, and then I should be having a good thread. One more thing. I don't think I'll be able to run this tool in that thread. Just replacing the tool, I bet you they're different enough that that would not match properly. So I'm running this one again, one last time for a spring pass. Just let it, you know, clean up a little bit. The thread, the bolt does go in almost all the way. Like, it just gets tighter near the bottom where the tool is kind of deflecting a little bit. But it's a good enough hole. But for the next pallet that I do, this tool will now be mounted up and ready to rock. Alright, so in this pallet, I've got some critical bores that I want to use the touch probe to measure the bore diameter and tell me what size it is. So it's pretty simple. We just go to touch probe, we go to probing CC, we click an inside circle, and we hit cycle start. Notice how the probe rotates every time it goes around so that it's always touching on the same point, eliminating any potential run out or whatever. 18766, which I believe is almost bang on. 0.187663 times 2 equals 3753. My goal is 3755, so I'm like a 1/10 and a half under, I think. That's pretty sweet. I actually do notice a little bit of a taper in the hole. If I probe deeper, it gets smaller. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I'm using a 1/4 inch tool to interpolate the hole on this way down, but I'll figure it out. This is the goal. This is what all the hard work is for. Getting this puppy on the kern. That is all. I have spoken. So, that about wraps it up for today, folks. It's going good. Going pretty good. So I'm running an entire run of all the tool paths to make that Vise pallet. I'm making a second one right now. Kind of dicked around with the first one, got it dialed in, and now I'm just running all that code on the second one. And going pretty good. Getting late. Getting wrung out here. It's time to head home. Ate some dinner. I was thinking, I think this is episode 15 or so. And I was looking at the calendar, and we posted the first one about 21, 22 days ago or something like that. So episode 14 went out today. Anyway, my point is 14 out of 21 days have been filmed. So like 2/3 of all the days. That's not bad. I've certainly worked here and have not filmed certain days, and I've certainly been home for many days of the rest of that. So pretty happy with that. It's pretty cool. It's been fun doing these vlogs. What else did I want to say? I don't know. What are you thinking about? Alright, maybe I will have more deeper thoughts for you tomorrow, but today I am done. Later.